At 15, Real Madrid took one look at him and said, "You're not good enough. Go home." At 18, Barcelona threw him into the starting lineup, and he hasn't come off the pitch since. Same guy, same face, that 23-year-old face that's seen so much it almost looks 50. Two clubs, two entirely different attitudes, and everything that happened in between has turned the name Pedri from a punchline into a legend. He is Pedri González. Looking at this 150 million euro player today, universally recognized as the best midfield brain in the world. Can you believe it? Just a few years ago, Real Madrid deemed him completely unworthy of development. What exactly happened in between? Let's take it from the top. What's up, guys, and welcome back to FutVerse. Today, we are talking about the story of this man, Pedri González, a 150 million euro superstar and the #1 midfielder in the world. Let's rewind to 2018. 15-year-old Pedri is playing ball in Tenerife, a small island deep in the Atlantic, far away from the Spanish mainland. The football resources and exposure there are a drop in the bucket compared to massive hubs like Barcelona or Madrid. So, when he suddenly landed a trial with Real Madrid, for an island kid, it felt like hitting the absolute jackpot. The trial ended, and he waited with bated breath for destiny to call. Instead, he got those cold, harsh words. "You're not good enough." Those few words felt like a bucket of ice water dumped on a teenager's head. But the people who made that judgment call probably never dreamed that they had just personally let go of the most valuable midfield answer of the next decade. To be fair to Real Madrid, the decision wasn't entirely crazy at the time. 15-year-old Pedri was scrawny. He got out-muscled, couldn't run very fast, and couldn't jump very high. Thrown into a mix of physically gifted kids his own age, he completely flew under the radar. Academy scouting logic always favors visible talent, speed, strength, explosiveness. These are things you can measure with a stopwatch and a tape measure in a short trial. But Pedri's most lethal weapon was in his head: spatial awareness, timing, and an elite ability to read the game. You just can't quantify those things in a quick trial. Looking back, Spanish media revealed that Real Madrid's academy actually rated his technical skills quite highly. What tanked his overall grade were the hard metrics: physicality and pace. So, Madrid letting him go wasn't so much a misjudgment by the scouts, but rather a catastrophic failure of a system built entirely on physical data. Shut out by a massive club, Pedri didn't throw a pity party. When one door closes, another opens. He turned around and joined the youth setup at Las Palmas in the Segunda División. Located in his native Canary Islands, this was, in a way, the safety net destiny had left for him. What happened next can only be described as a rocket ship trajectory. In just 1 year, he was fast-tracked to the first team. At 16 years, 8 months, and 24 days old, he made his professional debut, becoming the second youngest player in club history to take the pitch. Now, you have to understand, the Spanish second division is a total bloodbath. Fast-paced, rough, and physical. Nobody is taking it easy on you just because you're a kid. With teams fighting tooth and nail for promotion or to avoid relegation, the margin for error is zero. Most coaches wouldn't dare gamble on a teenager, but 17-year-old Pedri, he wasn't scared at all. He dropped 35 appearances in a single season, bagging 4 goals and 7 assists. Those stats absolutely terrified the scouting networks in Catalonia. A 17-year-old kid putting up starter numbers in a grown man's brawl. That carries way more weight than flashy stats in a youth league. Barcelona reacted insanely fast. Almost without haggling, they dropped a 5 million euro base fee to sign him, and then immediately loaned him right back to Las Palmas to keep developing. With add-ons, the total package would eventually surpass 20 million euros. The funny thing is, the players popping up on Barca's radar at that time were established stars like Antoine Griezmann and Frenkie de Jong. Dropping 5 million euros on a rookie from the second division? At the time, almost everyone thought Barcelona had lost their minds. Looking back, it's arguably the best bargain of the last decade. 5 million euros in today's market might not even buy you a bench warmer for a mid-table team. But for that price, Barca bought a future 150 million euro superstar capable of carrying their entire midfield. Even better, they knew how to be patient. Loaning him back for a year let him transition into adult football in a familiar environment, rather than dragging him directly into the blinding spotlight. Compare that to a lot of modern clubs who rush a hyped prospect straight into the starting 11 just to grab headlines and recoup their investment, and usually end up ruining the kid. Developing a player is like planting a tree. You can't rush it. Who could have guessed that this crazy purchase would become the bedrock of Barcelona's return to glory? The following summer, 18-year-old Pedri officially walked into Camp Nou. Barcelona was in the painful final days of the Lionel Messi era, and the midfield desperately needed new blood. Manager Ronald Koeman looked at the cards in his hand, bit the bullet, and threw this 18-year-old kid right into the starting lineup. The result? The entire stadium's jaw hit the floor. How was this a rookie? The moment the ball touched his feet, he could seamlessly weave his way out of a double team. That kind of unbothered composure in heavy traffic is not something an 18-year-old should have. And that is exactly what makes Pedri different. He doesn't rely on blazing speed to beat a man, and he doesn't use pure muscle. Every single advantage he has is built on being one step ahead. Before he even gets the ball, his peripheral vision has already scanned the entire pitch. Before the defender even lunges, he already knows exactly where the pass is going. That's why watching him play feels so effortless. It's not that he runs faster than everyone else, it's that he thinks faster. Because of that, in the chaos following Messi's departure, Pedri instantly became the team's anchor. Barcelona had just lost the guy who could fix every problem by himself. The whole squad was lost. Nobody knew where the ball should go or who should orchestrate the attack. Pedri perfectly filled that void. He's not a ruthless goal scorer, and he's not doing ankle-breaking dribbles, but he makes the ball flow. He got the whole team's rhythm back. For a lost team, that is worth way more than a striker. That's why Pedri locked down a starting spot at such a young age. He wasn't just filling a position. He was fixing a broken system. From then on, if the whistle was blowing, his name was on the team sheet. In the 2021 season, he played a staggering 52 games for the club, becoming their undisputed Iron Man. Against Atletico Madrid, at just 18 years and 5 months old, he hit his 50th appearance, shattering the youngest player record previously held by Messi. Dethroning Messi in the record books of a club like Barca is heavy enough, but doing it while the club was in turmoil, veterans fading, results up and down, finances in ruins, proved that this kid wasn't swallowed by the chaos. He became one of their only stable pillars. But when the league ended, he didn't even get a chance to catch his breath. National team coach Luis Enrique drafted him straight into the Euro 2020 squad. For the entire tournament, the 18-year-old started all 6 games, missing just 1 single minute of action. With his tireless running and a 92.3% pass accuracy, he practically dragged Spain to the semifinals and unanimously won the Best Young Player of the Tournament award. That Euro run was when the world truly met Pedri. Usually, when people thought of the Spanish midfield, names like Xavi and Iniesta came to mind. But that summer, an 18-year-old stepped up and single-handedly revived the tiki-taka system. Old school fans were practically in tears. We found the heir. Right after the Euros, without even catching up on sleep, he packed his bags for Japan, started 6 straight games at the Tokyo Olympics, and took home a silver medal. Let's do the math. 52 club games, 6 Euro games, 6 Olympic games. In one short year, that is 73 top-tier matches. He was playing a full 90 minutes every 5 days. No wonder fans were saying they were treating an 18-year-old like a machine. And that laid the groundwork for everything that went wrong. There's a brutal reality in pro sports. Young bodies look like they recover fast, but they are the most vulnerable to high-intensity burnout. The club, the senior national team, and the Olympic team all wanted him, and nobody wanted to back down. Nobody was actually looking out for his long-term health. The higher the talent, the harder they squeeze you. It's the inescapable curse of the teenage prodigy. That year, he swept the awards, the Golden Boy, the Copa Trophy, and he even ranked 24th for the Ballon d'Or. But the price tag finally caught up to him. The massive physical overdraft forced his young body to flash red. When cameras caught his face, he had heavy dark circles and looked completely exhausted, aging way past his actual years. His muscles started breaking down. In the 2021 to 2022 season, he suffered 4 separate injuries, missed 41 games, and was sidelined for 201 days. Those 200-plus days are hell for a rising star. You have the ability, but you can't play. You have the talent, but you're trapped in the rehab room, watching your teammates run out on the pitch. The scariest part of an injury isn't the physical pain. It's the helpless feeling that slowly eats away at your confidence and form. So many generational talents have faded into obscurity in that exact cycle. For those 2 years, the narrative around him shifted. People called him made of glass. They said he was overhyped. Haters even dug up the past, saying, Real Madrid was right all along. Talent is ironic like that. It lifts you to the heavens, but when you fall, there's a line of people waiting to laugh at you. But Pedri, he never fired back once. He didn't complain about the schedule on social media, and he didn't point fingers. He just kept his head down, did his rehab, worked on his fitness, and waited. Looking back, that silence was his biggest flex. True competitors don't waste time explaining themselves. They just get busy getting better. Just when everyone was ready to write him off as another burnt-out shooting star, Pedri refused to accept that script. The coaching staff designed a brand new load management protocol just for him, strictly limiting his minutes to slowly build his body back. It was a controversial move at the time. Benching your most effective player when the team is fighting for points takes serious discipline. But in hindsight, it was one of Barcelona's smartest decisions in years. Because they weren't just saving a few games, they were saving the core of their next decade. And during that forced slowdown, Pedri learned how to be smarter with his stamina. He learned how to cheat a little on the pitch, using less running to achieve even greater efficiency. He finally crawled out of the mud of his injuries. And the Pedri that returned had completely evolved. If the pre-injury Pedri was a tireless engine covering every blade of grass, the new Pedri was the ultimate midfield general. He stopped trying to do everything himself and learned when to push, when to drop back, when to play one touch, and when to hold the ball. That transition from workhorse to brain is the true mark of a world-class midfielder. In week 3 of the 22-23 La Liga season, he scored, becoming the youngest midfielder in club history to hit 10 goals at 19. He finished that year with 7 goals and 3 assists, helping Barca reclaim the La Liga title. Then came the 24-25 season under Hansi Flick. He totally exploded. Missing only a single game all year, his minutes and ground-covered metrics returned to their absolute peak. Domestically, he led Barca to completely dominate Real Madrid, a massive away win in La Liga, another victory in the Supercopa, and a crucial goal in the Copa del Rey final to sink the Galacticos. 3 wins against Real Madrid in one season. The poetry of those 3 wins is incredible. 7 years ago, that club shoved him out the door. 7 years later, he stood in the center of the pitch and knocked them down time and time again. That is the ultimate sports revenge. You don't have to say a single word, you just let the scoreboard talk. Honestly, Pedri probably wasn't even thinking about revenge. He just naturally used his game to permanently invalidate those words, "You're not good enough." He wrapped up that season with 6 goals, 8 assists, a domestic treble, and his first La Liga Player of the Month award. In the Champions League, Barca marched to the semi-finals, with Pedri serving as the main engine. Even though they narrowly lost out to Inter Milan, his ability to orchestrate and dictate the midfield earned him UEFA recognition as one of the most accurate passers in the tournament. By the 2025 Ballon d'Or, he surged to 11th place, his highest career finish yet. Rolling into 2026, Pedri hasn't missed a beat. He's been dominating for the Spanish national team, racking up Man of the Match awards in friendlies and qualifiers. Market valuations now officially have him parked in the €150 million bracket, firmly sitting at the top of the global midfield ladder, alongside guys like Jude Bellingham. The kid Real Madrid threw away for not being good enough is now the unbreakable spiritual leader of Camp Nou, frequently wearing the captain's armband for Barcelona. The weight of being captain is heavier than any stat sheet. It means that in a locker room full of geniuses, the coach and the players trust you the most. Pedri isn't a loud, screaming, emotional leader. His leadership is built on terrifying, relentless consistency. Whenever the team is panicking, they just give him the ball, and the heartbeat of the game stabilizes. That quiet authority is the highest form of leadership, and it perfectly matches the aura of FC Barcelona. Camp Nou has always worshipped players who win with technique and intelligence, a straight lineage from Cruyff to Guardiola to Xavi to Iniesta. Pedri fits into that family tree flawlessly. The crazy part? He doesn't even have pure La Masia blood, yet he brought the authentic soul of tiki-taka right back to Barca. It proves that football philosophy isn't inherited by blood, it's passed down through a pure understanding of the game. Whoever truly reads the sport is the rightful heir. From a bitter rival's reject to a €150 million superstar. From an overworked teenager to a resurrected tactical mastermind. Pedri's journey was never some miracle drop from the sky. There are no lucky ones favored by the gods. Every jaw-dropping comeback you see is just someone, in the dead of night when nobody was watching, turning every scar they ever received into their most impenetrable armor. So let's look back at the question we started with. Was getting rejected at 15 a tragedy or a blessing for Pedri? I'd say it wasn't a bad thing at all. If he had stayed at that massive academy, he might have drowned in a sea of hundreds of other talented kids, waiting forever for a chance that might never come. Getting rejected pushed him to the second division. It pushed him to the first team. It pushed him to the exact stage where he could actually play and actually grow up. Life's turning points are funny like that. What feels like a knockout punch in the moment, you look back later and realize it was actually a door. That's why I believe Pedri's story is mandatory listening for anyone going through a rough patch. Being rejected, denied, or told you don't have what it takes, we all go through it. The only difference is that some people accept their fate, while others use that rejection as pure fuel. Pedri's story hits hard because when they slammed the door in his face, he didn't stand there complaining. He turned around and paved his own, much wider, path. Today, he is only 23 years old, valued at 150 million euros, wearing the captain's armband and holding the undisputed title of the best midfielder in the world. His golden era is literally just beginning. Sure, the challenges are still there. He has to manage his body. The Champions League trophy is still waiting to be conquered, and the pressure is only going to get heavier. But if he has proven anything over these last few years, it's this. This seemingly skinny kid is tougher than anyone else out there. So I can't wait for the day, years from now, when we look back at this exact story and that phrase, "You're not good enough," officially goes down as the single worst misjudgment in the history of football.